So welcome back again, guys. This is going to be, I reckon this is going to be a video over a few days. I think maybe it might be over the day or over the course of a day. It depends on how I feel about recording and doing things like that and how my back is. So I've got a list of things that I need to do. First of all, I need to change over point motor number 20, which is this one over here. I need to change some of the MDF boards. Now when I say I'm going to change some of them, this section along here I'm going to leave for the moment. This is 9mm thick MDF, so it should be alright. It shouldn't warp too much, but the rest of the layout I'm thinking about changing it for some plywood. Just because it's a little stronger and I want to go a little thicker as well. I want to go for 12mm. Only because with the point motors I've got at the moment, the screws, which I haven't got any readily available at this second. Actually, give us a second. I'll go and get some. So screws are, as I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's just let's have a look through the viewfinder because so the screw in that is just a bit more than I think. It's just a little more than 9mm, which means every time I've put one of these screws in, it's actually started to lift the point up. And it hasn't seated the motor properly. So the motor's moves a tiny bit. So if I get a 12mm thick board, I know for sure that these screws shouldn't, touch wood, shouldn't come through the wood and move the point motor, or move the point and upset the point, because I think that's what I'm getting. The reason I'm getting a lot of derailments at the moment on my points is because the point motor screws are coming up just a bit too far. I probably could fix that by just taking the end off it with a Dremel. But 4 screws for each motor, and then you're thinking, how many motors have I got here? 10-ish? 10-ish motors. So you do the maths because I'm dyslexic, but that's a lot of screws to then have to go about taking all the ends off. So in my eyes it's not really worth it. Well, it probably would be to get the ideal thing out. I mean, I should have probably laid this onto some cork, which a lot of people do, and I forgot and started laying track and then realised, oh, I'm going to need cork. I came up with a substitute for it, but unfortunately I didn't like the substitute I chose for it, and therefore I've gone against it. It was probably a bad idea. I probably should have stuck with the substitute, or even just bought some more of the stuff and just laid it on top of this and glued it down. The only thing with the cork is I can buy sheets of this cork and I could literally plaster it all over everything and then put the track on top and cut to how I want it. But yes, this was the stuff I was going to use, but when I got around to finding out to cut it, it didn't actually give me clean edges to cut anyway, so not unless you used one of their already pre-cut sides, but when you cut it yourself it just comes out really nasty. So I then put that in the back burner and put it behind. I've still got a couple of large sheets of this stuff, but I don't think I'll be using it. So I don't even know if I'm in the camera shot as well. So this stuff here is going to stay as MDF, only because I can't. The other one is I can't really replace it because I've glued the incline down. So that's my fault again. But never mind. You learn from your mistakes, and that's why from this end, this section here is going to stay as MDF, but everything else will turn into marine ply, or not necessarily marine ply, just plywood in general. just because I think actually I might be doing a better job if I have ply. I can already see in certain areas of this on the baseboard where it's already starting to warp, and I've only had this down, what, a year? Less than a year? So we are talking about some it's warped quite quickly. It hasn't had a great deal of weight on it. It has stored stuff on, but it hasn't had a great deal of weight. I haven't put really heavy stuff on it. So for it to start warping like that, it's done it fairly quickly. The other one is, if I do what I'm going to do is put marine ply down, the hatch may have to have a few tweaks on it, which would be another interesting project to be done. I have got to hang up some Eddie Stobart lorries up onto the wall with the thing I made for them. So I've got several projects to do in here. The first one will be to replace that motor. The second one will be to lift all the other bits of MDF up, number them hopefully, so I can remember where they go, and then that's the other one. Strengthen the under these so that they don't move so much, and so there's cross beams in there, because the biggest gaps are probably about 4 foot by 2 foot, and I haven't put anything between that 4 foot. So there's a 4 foot bit of board and there's nothing in the middle of it to stop it from warping, so I'm going to have to put something in. I don't know what my hands are doing, they're kind of moving about, but I'm going to have to put something between it just to help strengthen the MDF up on this side of things, which, well, it was bound to happen. I didn't think about it, but if I do it on these other ones as well, it's less likely to happen when I get the plyboard in. The other one is I prefer to use plyboard. The moisture content or the humidity in here at times can get really quite high, and obviously MDF and humidity aren't the two greatest of things. You don't want humidity or moist air near MDF. It's just going to absorb it like a sponge, and then when it does, it's going to puff the wood up because it's a spongy wood. The other one is with plywood, apparently, I don't know if it's true, Western Centurion can say if it is or not, but the track pins, you should be able to put your track pins in an awful lot easier with plywood than MDF. I was on a forum this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and they were saying that you can use MDF if you're in a dry area and you're not going to get moist air, but you'll find it's the track pins will be harder to push in, whereas plywood, it should, because it's a softer wood, it should just sink straight through. Don't know how true it is. Again, like I said, you'd have to speak to someone like Western Centurion, because I think he's using plywood. But yeah, it doesn't mean I'm getting rid of any of this. This is staying how it is. Mostly because I don't have the track plans anymore, because someone reformatted their computer. Yeah, that was me. And then forgot to back up the track plans. I backed up everything else but forgot to back up the track plans and AnyRail 6. So I've lost everything to do with the layout in the garage, which is really gutting because that was a big mistake. So hopefully this will stay how it is, because I don't know if I do rebuild this, then I'm completely knackered. So I don't think this is going to be rebuilt again. This is it. This is how it's staying, or not. This is how it's staying. It's obviously going to have something go up here, and I'll work something out. Because I had plans for this, but I can't remember what it was because it was so long ago, and now the plans are gone. So I'm now going to put some sidings here just to work with, or I can't remember what I said I was going to do. Actually, I might have to go back through to my previous videos and have a look, because I can't remember what I said I was going to do in this area. I can remember over there somewhere I said I might put a turntable, but I think I'm going to go against that. I'm going to renege that one. I'm just going to have a long station, and then it curve round into a tunnel, and then it curve round, and then you come into the modern era. So that's how we got the Tyne Valley Railway. Not that there's going to be a valley anywhere, but it's just going to be Tyne Valley or Tyne Valley Railway. That's my made-up place. Hopefully, I know there's another place probably called Tyne Valley Railway, but we'll go from, as I said before, did I say before 1940s, 1930s sort of thing, to on this side where you're sat at the minute, being present day. The interesting part is, when I do the present, I've got to be able to get, as I crush a packet of Oreos, I've got to be able to put some form of scenery on this, and then make it so it doesn't interfere with any scenery on this section. So this drop down, I will be putting scenery on, so this board's going to get really heavy. So I won't be relying on these hinge and screw things. I'll be doing something completely different, because if I put weight onto this with the way I've got these hinges, it will not hold. I can guarantee you it will not hold. So that's what I've got so far. I could have it as a slide in and out section, but with it being a drop down section, I know, as I drop my spirit level, I know as a drop down section, I can get the track to sit not tight against each other, but properly. Whereas if I have it in a slide in, there's a possibility that I might not slide it far enough and the track be slightly out. There are ways to get around it, but the way I've built this trap door, I can't have pins to go across or anything like that. So preferably, if I had it as a static drop, as a static folding door, I can guarantee it's going to sit in place every single time. It shouldn't move. But that's another hurdle to come to, because this whole section along here anyway is beginning to become plywood. Just because, it's not cheaper, but it's a better wood, and I think it'll be easier for me to work with. I was going to use OSB board until I started to build a ramp, and found out everywhere you drilled in it, every time you put a drill hole in it, you'd lose a large section of OSB board, and it would just pop a whole bunch out. So we'll go with the plywood for this half, hopefully, just to test it. I mean, I'm going to spend what, £30–40 on some plywood, just to see how well it works in this section here. If it works well, then I'll go ahead and I'll do it. I will then have loads of MDF left behind, so God knows what I'll do with that. Could possibly put a slightly hidden track above the ceiling. I don't know, not above the ceiling, but just around the edge of the top of the ceiling. I don't know. So I have something. Well, I couldn't do that. But I could probably do something else with it. Or like I said, I'll have something that will cut in across here and split the line up, so we've got more area to work with. It's one of those things. Once I've got this area done, I could add onto the board. I mean, if I pick the camera up and show you, try not to hit anything. So on this section here, I could add more board if I really fancied, and add a bit of 2x1 and then extend out. So I could extend all the way out to here-ish, but I'd have to get that section done first, or that section over there, and then bring it out. But yeah, this is, I think, from about here-ish, so this board all the way around, including the drop down, all the way along here, to here, and then where that corner just there, that line, you see that seam where the other board starts, all the way, this is all going to be, it'll all be ply eventually, and then this lot here, I may, well, I don't know what I'll do. I'll either eventually change it in years to come to plywood, and I'll just have to rebuild everything I've done, or I'll just leave it for the moment. Or when I say leave it for the moment, I'll leave it until I really need to, when it really needs to be done. So because if I leave it till when it really needs to be done, then I'd probably get a couple of years out of this. A couple of years, when I say a couple, 5 or 6 years out of it, and then when it's done those years and it's been complete, maybe it might be a lifted up jobby and redo it. I mean, the fun in this is to build it, get it all scenic, use it for a little bit, and then I don't want to change it, but I think it'd be nice to have a change. After a few years, I think it'd be nice. Keep it in the same sort of thing, maybe change the layout just a tiny bit. At the moment, I think it's a fairly good layout I've got, or this section anyway is a fairly good way I've got it. I kind of like it, so it should work. So yeah, apply MDF, fix a point, strengthen up the frame, because that definitely needs doing, and yeah, we'll find out what's going on from there, really. Thanks for watching. I hope you are happy with what's going on. I hope you've enjoyed what I've been telling you. I hope you enjoy what you see. Thank you for subscribing. Give the videos a thumbs up and a like, because a thumbs up is a like. Share it if you can, if you want, well, not if you can, but if you want to, if you like the video and you want to share it and get me out there, get more people to watch, really appreciate it. And again, thank you for, what's it, 170 followers, subscribers. It's 170, that's a milestone for me. I mean, I was going to do a video at 150, but when I got to 170, I thought, well, I'll try and do something for, I'll try and do a video for 200. So when we hit 200, I think there'll be a video special, a subscriber, yes, a subscriber special kind of 200 milestone. So, yeah. So guys, thank you again. Give us a great thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next video. Ta-ra!